If you're new, I'm Kenzie, and thanks for checking out our video. Today we're going to see if U of L can make some noise in the ACC this year, and maybe get a spot in the playoffs. We'll see. We're going to look at their schedule game by game, starting with Ole Miss, which will be in Nashville. First of all, we're going to talk about U of L. Um, under three years under Jeff Brom, U of L was 28-12, and they've all the 3 years have been kind of similar, where they beat a couple teams that they really shouldn't have beaten or upset, that sort of thing, and they lose some games that they shouldn't have lost, like the year they lost to UK at home late in the year, losing last year to really a mediocre Clemson team at home. And some of these losses have come at home. Last year they went to SMU and got, manhandled 38-6. So as you look at the schedule, you're like, okay, maybe they'll win some of these games that we don't think they will. And maybe they'll lose some of these games that we don't think they will lose. But U of L is going to have a new quarterback. As you all know, Miller Moss was the quarterback last year. A lot of people were disappointed in Miller Moss. He had just 16 TDs last year. His completion rate was not great. He was probably paid a lot of money. We don't know exactly how much, but quite a bit. He was actually drafted. He was undrafted signee by the Chicago Bears. He is in there. As far as I know, he's still in their camp with the Chicago Bears, trying to make that team. The new quarterback is Lincoln Kleinholz. He comes to U of L with very limited varsity experience at Ohio State. He's more mobile than Miller Moss. So that's the big question mark. They've got a great tandem of running backs. That might be the strong suit of the team, the running back, starting with Isaac Brown, who's battled a little bit of an injury, had an injury-plagued seasons at times. He has over 2,000 yards, though, in the last 2 seasons. The key is, can the offensive line, they have to block for these running backs. They have a lot of talent at running back. They've got a lot of depth at running back. But can they block for those guys? Wide receiver, they've got a guy coming in transferred from Vandy. His name is Trey Richardson. He's a big play guy, tall wide receiver. They've got another guy, a transfer from Florida State. McCoy is his name. The defensive tackles are young but talented. They're capable. They have to develop those guys. So they've got a lot of talent. Of course they do. They went in the transfer portal, got a lot of guys. They're not unlike any of the other major schools that they just go out and, let's say there's a great player at Toledo or Miami of Ohio or Ball State or wherever. Those teams lose their best players to schools like Louisville and Kentucky and Indiana and SEC Big 12 schools. So it's hard for those teams to compete because they lose their best players every year. So U of L, they're gonna start against Ole Miss in Nashville. Ole Miss, of course, lost their coach. He went to LSU. They have a really good quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss. He's an excellent quarterback. Quan Lacey, a really good running back. He had over 1,500 yards last year. They need some help at wide receiver. Um, the defense is probably excellent at linebacker. They have some transfers from Baylor, California, Georgia Tech. Like you, like most of these teams, they went out and tried to reload with in the transfer portal, and they did. Uh, uh, Chambliss will have to have some guys step up at wide receiver to be able to throw the ball. Um, so probably a good time to catch Ole Miss. New coaching staff. A lot of things will be new for them. They've got a lot of people in the transfer portal. U of L has a really it's a 50-50 game. I think U of L is going to win the game. A lot of people will pick Ole Miss, but it's one of those games that Jeff Brom teams win, and I think they're going to win the game in Nashville. Then the next game will be Villanova. This is a team that's not D1 FBS team, FCS team rather, and they will not be able to compete with Louisville. Last year they played Penn State. Villanova did. They lost handily against Penn State. They lost 52-6 to Penn State. The U of L game would be probably similar to that. They have a quarterback who's trying to get eligible. So he is from Ohio, the quarterback is. McQuaid is his name, Pat McQuaid. And he's trying to get, like the U of L, some U of L players went to a Kentucky judge here in Louisville to try to get granted eligibility. So McQuaid went to Ohio to an hopefully a judge friendly to him to try to get eligible. So that's his situation. He's a really good quarterback, but they don't have the talent level U of L. Then U of L will host Ole Miss. This is one of the biggest games on the schedule for U of L. Last year they went to Ole Miss and just got manhandled 38-6. Kevin Jennings, a quality quarterback, is returning for Ole Miss. In the last 2 years, he has 50 touchdowns. The problem for Ole Miss, I'm saying Ole Miss, I mean SMU. The problem for SMU is their running game. Um, they need to revamp their running game. It's a game that U of L has to be ready to play against SMU. They're going to be pretty talented. Um, they have done well since they joined the ACC. 9-4 and 11-3, and then 2 years ago they were in the playoffs. So this is a quality opponent. They will be again this year. Then they play Wake Forest. Wake Forest, most people are saying, is going to be much better. They were 9-4 last year. And then with the Duke Mayobo, they have a quarterback, Gio Lopez, who came to Wake from North Carolina. They have a running back, Ty Clark. Who's pretty good. He's also a transfer. Linebacker, they have several transfers, and they went to transfer portal for that. The defense will be solid. Can Wake Forest score enough points to be competitive and win some of these games against the tougher teams in the ACC? Not sure. This is a big game for U of L. And actually, they have to be ready against Wake. It's not a name opponent like SMU, Florida State, Miami, Clemson. They have to be ready to play, or they could slip up in that one. Next comes NC State. NC State should be better. Their quarterback is C.J. Bailey. He's thrown for over 5,500 yards in 2 years. However, they lost their best running back to Texas. Unfortunately for them, they have some work to do in the offensive and defensive lines. This game is on the road at NC State. U of L's probably better. Florida State, well, they were 4-8 last year. They can't continue to be awful. I mean, they have a quarterback who was a transfer from Auburn, Ashton Daniels. They have 6 losing seasons in the last 8 years. Florida State does. This can't continue. There's too much talent in that state for them not to be decent. Uh, so that, but that should be a game that U of L's more talented than Florida State. U of L goes to Syracuse. Syracuse is in the middle of the pack ACC team, and U of L should beat them. Stanford is still in the kind of a rebuilding situation. They're similar to Syracuse, middle of the pack at best for Stanford. They were 4-8 last year. Syracuse was 3-9 last year. So those are teams that U of L should handle pretty handily, really. At Georgia Tech, this could be one of the tougher games on the schedule for U of L. Georgia Tech, however, could be in a rebuilding situation. Their quarterback is Alberto Mendoza, brother of Fernando Mendoza. They started strong last year, won like the first 8 games, and they lost 4 of the last 5. Struggled at the end. Then U of L goes to North Carolina. North Carolina still doesn't have enough talent. That's the problem for them. They don't have enough talent. Can Belichick win at the college level? It's a different game than the professional game. It just is. So we don't know. Coaching Tom Brady versus coaching college kids, that's a big difference. Pittsburgh. They have offensive line issues. They have a very talented running back coming back. They were 8-5 last year. Really, the U of L's last 2 games, Pittsburgh and UK, kind of similar opponents, really. UK, U of L's last game, there's so many questions surrounding UK in Will Stein's first season. Not sure UK will be good enough defensively. UK loaded up in the offensive line. That's where they spent most of their money. And they have a quarterback from Notre Dame. I think UK will score points. Will they score enough points? This could be really a shootout. And I'm talking shootout. I'm talking 40-37 or something like that. So, final record. How well will U of L do? Ole Miss win. Villanova win. So 2-0. SMU. I think they're going to be ready for that game because what SMU did to them last year. 3-0. Wake Forest. That might be a loss. 3-1. NC State win. Florida State win. So now 5-1 at Syracuse win. Stanford win. Georgia Tech win. North Carolina win. Pittsburgh and at UK, they're going to lose one of those games. So 10 wins, 2 losses. That could be a playoff berth. Depends on how the rest of the country does, how the rest of the ACC does. If U of L can get in the ACC championship game, that could be like a play-in game for the playoffs. College football playoffs, we'll see. U of L's new quarterback, he has to be efficient. He has to limit turnovers. They're going to be able to run the ball, no doubt. But when people stuff the line of scrimmage, will they be able to throw it? That's the question. I think U of L's defense will be pretty good. The question, I mean, the question all camp long has been everybody's talking about the quarterback. Is he good enough? So the first 2 years under Brom, the quarterbacks played very well. Last year with Miller Moss, that was disappointing. He kind of rolled the dice on this guy because he's unproven. He hasn't thrown many passes in actual college football games so far. Um, so we'll see off the bat how good he is because they're playing Ole Miss, SEC school. They'll be probably picked in the top half of the SEC. Ole Miss will. They certainly have enough talent to compete, and it'll be a neutral site. Ole Miss will have a lot of fans there. U of L probably 50-50, really. If you Ole Miss will have a lot of people there. They will. And Nashville's not far for Ole Miss, not far for U of L. It should be a great atmosphere. Looking forward to getting the season started right there in Nashville with a fun game. All right. See y'all. Stay tuned.